Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Sorry I haven't had any videos for a while. It's been one of those weeks. I had 2 races a couple of weekends ago, and my workouts last weekend were pretty intense, so I really didn't spend a lot of time trying to figure out making a video. I had to edit and upload 2 videos that you'll see at the end and down in the description, and you'll see them at the end of this video on the end plate. The interesting thing about the 2 races, the first one was a time trial, and I felt like I was ready going into it. Obviously it's early season, so it's not really one of those that you'll be able to do perfect on. Some people do excellent. I was actually a minute faster than last year. If you've watched the video, you've seen all this. But I was a minute faster than last year, but I don't think I put as much effort into it. It's hard to describe. I know that at the end of the race last year I was in a lot of pain because the final push to the end was everything I had. This year it wasn't, it didn't put me over the top the way it did last year, but I was still pretty tired, just physically drained, physically exhausted. Then the very next day I raced in the City Park Crit. It was a Pro 1-2-3 field. I'm a Cat 3, so I wasn't really expecting to win necessarily, but my coach gave me a good plan that if I found myself in the peloton when the final lap came around, they gave me a really good spot to attack. And if I'd still been with the peloton, I might have been able to win based on that attack. If you watch the City Park Crit video, you'll see that at the end of it, a group finally caught me. So I guess I can explain the race. I was with the main peloton for the first 22 minutes of the race, 22 minutes of a 40-minute race. And it was, attack after attack after attack after attack. And, if you watch the video, you can see my power spiking and coming back down and spiking and coming back down and spiking and coming back down. And, that intense of an effort isn't easy to maintain. I did pretty well. There's always the doubt, could I have done more? Could I have pushed harder? Could I have, held on just a little bit longer? If I had given just a little bit more, would the outcome have been different? And it's one of those things you really can't second guess your game time decision, because when you're in the pain, when you're in the moment, when you're watching the peloton slowly get away from you, you really can't second guess yourself, because as soon as you do, then you'll never improve, I guess. I mean, watching the race to see if you can see something you didn't see in the race is valuable. The crit, the Louisville crit from last year, I watched that one and I found out that when I fell off the back of the breakaway, the reason I fell off the back was because there were 4 of us, and the first 2 were pulling pretty hard. The third one, she was getting tired. I was 4th. So the third one started backing off and a gap opened, and by the time I realized the gap opened and tried to get around, the gap was too far for me to make up that distance. And I tried really hard and I just couldn't close the gap. So I fell off the back there. So that was actually something for me to learn. This time I was really I was exhausted. Then I spent most of the rest of the race by myself. The final 2 laps was when the group that was behind me finally caught me, and I sat up for that lap to set up for the sprint, and I sprinted at the place that my coach told me to, and I actually beat that group by about 2 seconds. So sprinting like that worked. I didn't think I'd be able to sustain it as long as I did, but my coach had faith, so gotta trust your coach. I went way into the red at the end, but that's when you got to do it, is at the end, right? I've talked about my full suspension mountain bike and how I've gone tubeless on it, and I think I finally got the tubeless thing working. I've gone on a couple of rides with it. I went on a ride last night and got some pictures that will flash through up here. I got some pictures of my mountain bike with my helmet light illuminating the bike and the Denver city lights in the background. So I thought it was kind of cool. use the camera that I'm filming with right now, which is my old cell phone, and the reason I'm using that is because I broke my current cell phone screen again. Second time I've broken it. And what looks like small cracks actually has caused the screen to not function, so I can't even see the screen on it. So I didn't take it out riding with me. So I used this one, got the pictures. I submitted the second one to GMBN for their bike vault. Hopefully they'll show it. If not, then I probably won't send any more in, just because they probably get so many pictures that you know, it's like, it would be like trying to win the lottery to get in there, to get on there in the bike vault on the Dirt Shed show. So what's coming up for me? The next race that I might do, my team is talking about it right now, is to do the CSU road race, which is out at Cobb Lake, north of Fort Collins, or north east of Fort Collins. That road race course is relatively flat, so the climbs that it does have are fairly short power climbs, so they potentially suit me fairly well. You know, if I go out there and race, I've told my teammates that, you know, I hadn't been planning on doing that race, so if they want a domestique, I'll race it as a domestique for them, you know, help them, you know, pull in breakaways or do whatever they want me to do. So that should be fun. That would actually be a lot of fun to do that. I've never had teammates racing that I could work for those teammates, so that would be a lot of fun if they want to put that kind of strategy into it. So I'm looking forward to it. And I think that's all I have for this time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.